Treat for you today. We're going to Africa, people. But not just any trip, no sir. We're talking about the top 10 must-visit countries this continent has to offer. So buckle up because you're in for a wild ride. Let's dive in. All right, folks, let's kick things off in the land of jollof rice, Nollywood drama, and enough entrepreneurial spirit to launch 1,000 startups. Nigeria, we're talking Africa's most populous nation, a melting pot of cultures, languages, and let's not forget some of the most delicious food this side of the Sahara. From the vibrant markets of Lagos to the ancient city walls of Kano, Nigeria is a sensory overload in the best possible way. And don't even get me started on the music scene. Afrobeat was born here, people, but beyond the energy and the excitement, Nigeria is a country with a story to tell. A history rich in tradition and resilience, a spirit of innovation that's pushing boundaries. Just be prepared to be swept off your feet. From the bustling energy of Nigeria, we're time-traveling back to the cradle of civilization, Egypt. Now, folks, we're talking pyramids, pharaohs, hieroglyphics, the real OGs of history. But Egypt is more than just ancient wonders, though those are pretty darn impressive. Imagine cruising down the Nile River, ancient temples on one side, bustling cities on the other. And speaking of food, have you ever tasted a plate of kushari? Trust me, it's a culinary revelation. But beyond the history and the food, there's a certain magic to Egypt. Maybe it's the desert sunsets, the echoing calls to prayer, or the sheer weight of history at every turn. Egypt is waiting. From the ancient wonders of Egypt, we're venturing into the heart of East Africa, Kenya. Now, if you're a wildlife enthusiast, buckle up because this is where your safari dreams come true. Picture this. You're cruising across the Masai Mara, the sun rising over the savannah, and suddenly a pride of lions saunters past your jeep. But Kenya is more than just safaris, though those are pretty darn spectacular. It's a country of stunning landscapes, from snow-capped mountains to pristine beaches. And speaking of shows, let's not forget the Maasai people with their vibrant culture and traditions. But beyond the wildlife and the landscapes, it's the warmth of the Kenyan people that'll truly capture your heart. So pack your binoculars, your sense of adventure, and get ready to experience the wild beauty of Kenya. Hold on to your hats, folks, because we're heading to the southern tip of Africa, South Africa. Now, this country is a whole vibe, a melting pot of cultures, landscapes, and experiences that'll leave you breathless. Let's start with Cape Town, the mother city, where Table Mountain looms large, penguins waddle on the beach, and the food scene could rival any global metropolis. But South Africa is more than just Cape Town, though it's a pretty tough act to follow. Head north, and you'll find yourself in the heart of Kruger National Park, one of the world's premier safari destinations. And let's not forget the winelands, folks, but beyond the landscapes and the experiences, it's the spirit of South Africa that will truly move you. So pack your hiking boots, your swimsuit, and your appetite for adventure, because South Africa is calling. Get ready to be amazed, folks, because we're heading to Tanzania, a country where adventure meets paradise. This East African gem is home to some of the continent's most iconic sights, from the snow-capped peak of Mount Kilimanjaro to the turquoise waters of Zanzibar. Let's start with the big one. Mount Kilimanjaro, the highest peak in Africa and a bucket list item for adventurers worldwide. But Tanzania is more than just mountains, though they are pretty darn impressive. It's also home to the Serengeti National Park, where the Great Migration unfolds in its full glory. And once you've had your fill of adventure, head to the Spice Island of Zanzibar. But beyond the landscapes and the wildlife, it's the warmth of the Tanzanian people that'll make you want to stay forever. So pack your hiking boots, your swimsuit, and your sense of wonder, because Tanzania is calling. Get ready to be transported to a land of mystery and enchantment, folks, because we're heading to Morocco. This North African gem is a feast for the senses, from the bustling souks of Marrakesh to the blue-washed streets of Chefchaouen. Let's start in Marrakesh, the Red City, where the air is thick with the scent of spices, the sounds of bargaining, and the sight of snake charmers and storytellers. But Morocco is more than just bustling cities, though they are pretty darn exciting. Head north to Chefchaouen, the Blue Pearl, where the buildings are painted in every shade of blue imaginable. And for the adventurous souls, a trek through the Atlas Mountains is a must. And let's not forget the Sahara Desert, folks. So pack your sense of adventure, your bargaining skills, and your appetite for the exotic, because Morocco is calling. Get ready to experience the rhythm and soul of West Africa, folks, because we're heading to Ghana. This country is pulsating with energy, from the bustling streets of Accra to the tranquil beaches of Cape Coast. Let's start in Accra, the capital city, where the air is thick with the sounds of Afrobeat music, the scent of street food, and the sight of colourful kente cloth. Explore the historic forts and castles, remnants of Ghana's colonial past, and visit the Kwame Nkrumah Mausoleum, a tribute to Ghana's first president. But Ghana is more than just its cities, though they are pretty darn exciting. Head to Kakum National Park, where you can walk among the rainforest canopy on a suspension bridge. But beyond the history and the culture, it's the warmth of the Ghanaian people that'll truly capture your heart. So, pack your dancing shoes, your appetite for adventure, and your open heart, because Ghana is ready to welcome you. Prepare to journey back in time, folks, because we're heading to Ethiopia, a land of ancient history, breathtaking landscapes, and a culture as rich as its coffee. Our first stop takes us to Lalibela, often dubbed the New Jerusalem. Here you'll find 11 monolithic churches carved entirely out of rock in the 12th century. But Ethiopia is more than just its ancient wonders. For the adventurous souls, a trek through the Simien Mountains is a must. And let's not forget the coffee, folks. Ethiopia is considered the birthplace of coffee, and a traditional coffee ceremony is an absolute must-do. But beyond the history, the landscapes, and the coffee, it's the spirit of the Ethiopian people that will truly captivate you. So pack your hiking boots, your sense of adventure, and an open mind, because Ethiopia is ready to show you its magic. Get ready to move to the rhythm of the djembe drum, folks, because we're heading to Senegal, a country where West African culture explodes in a riot of colour, music, and energy. Our first stop takes us to Dakar, the capital city, perched on the edge of the Atlantic Ocean. Here you'll find a vibrant mix of tradition and modernity. Explore the bustling markets, where you can find everything from colourful fabrics to traditional crafts. And don't miss the chance to experience the city's legendary nightlife. Dakar knows how to party. But Senegal is more than just its capital city. For a truly unique experience, head to Lake Reba, also known as Lac Rose. So pack your dancing shoes, your sense of adventure, and get ready to experience the Teranga. That's the Wolof word for hospitality of Senegal. Prepare to be awestruck, folks, because we're heading to Namibia, a land of vast landscapes, otherworldly beauty, and a sense of peace that's hard to find anywhere else. Our first stop takes us to Sossusvlei, where you'll find some of the highest sand dunes in the world. But Namibia is more than just sand dunes, though they are pretty darn impressive. For wildlife lovers, Etosha National Park is an absolute must-visit. And for the adventurous souls, a trip to the Skeleton Coast is a must. But beyond the landscapes and the wildlife, it's the sense of peace and serenity that truly sets Namibia apart. This is a country where you can feel the weight of the world melt away, where you can reconnect with nature and with yourself. So pack your sense of adventure, your camera, and get ready to experience the magic of Namibia. And there you have it, folks. Our whirlwind tour of Africa's top 10 must-visit countries. From the vibrant streets of Lagos to the serene deserts of Namibia, Africa is a continent that will stay with you long after you've left. It's a place of incredible diversity, breathtaking beauty, and a warmth that's hard to find anywhere else. Thanks for joining us on this incredible journey through Africa's top destinations. See you in the next video.